What's going on, everyone? Conservative Video Dipper here. If you got a dip, pack a lip. So I want to talk to you about why does the Democrats, the liberals, and the progressives like to call us MAGAs, the KKK, and use the word towards us. Number one, because the Democrats, the progressives, are big on using click buzzwords. That's the basic general thing. They like using those buzzwords because it's virtual signaling. They think that using it gives them that ability to draw enough attention that it will help their cause, apparently, but it doesn't. Number two, a lot of the Democrats, especially nowadays, and the progressives, the liberals, the socialists, forget that the Democrats used to be called the Dixiecrats. What are the Dixiecrats? So back in 1900s, the Dixiecrats were what? You're right, if you said the Democrats. They were. They were the Democrats. Now, they weren't middle class or low class. They were high class, the aristocrats, basically rich folks. They were well-to-do rich folks. Those were folks that did own black people, that would beat them, treat them like shit, treat them poorly, and want segregation. And they would want black people to basically be treated less than a human being nowadays. That's how the Democrats are tricking people nowadays, because they don't want people to know that that's what they actually believed in back then. That's who they were back then. What's the original KKK? Ku Klux Klan. They were the original Ku Klux Klan. They were the people with the white hoods, burning crosses in front of black buildings and black businesses, lynching black people, whipping them, beating them, out there allegedly raping them, doing despicable things to them. They don't want to acknowledge that as a truth because, well, they don't want people to know that, because if people knew who they really were, again, it would lose base. And people would see that and look at that and go, we can't support that. We can't support racism. And also, the conservatives and the Republicans were right all along about the Democrats, the progressives, the socialists, the liberals. They're racist. And that's it. That's the truth of it. They are racist. The Democrats, the progressives, the liberals, the socialists are racist. Do you think they really care about Black Lives Matter or black communities? No, they don't. They only use the black community for their votes, the money, and for virtual signaling. Those are the only few things that they use them for. And their voices. To try to buddy with them and allegedly pay them so that they can get more people in the black community to believe in their bullshit lies. Just so that they can have more people follow along with them. Basically, being alleged paid actors by supposed George Soros. Like BLM is an alleged bunch of paid actors by George Soros. It's kind of weird how the Democrats don't realize the one thing that we all know about them and the people that want to claim that we're the racist and that we're alleged the KKK supporters and that we're all for the KKK, we aren't for it. We're against it. We've all been against it. Trump's against the KKK. Trump's denounced the KKK live multiple times. He said he's denounced them. If you go watch a video where on one of his where he's doing a speech on his campaign, and there's a guy that's wearing a white shirt, and it shows that he's probably one of the claimed part of the Klan, saying that he supports Trump. Trump looks over, sees it, and denounces the guy right in front of everyone, embarrasses the guy, and the guy gets embarrassed and walks out or sits his ass down. One of the two happens, I forget which one, but he gets embarrassed. And then they allege that Trump's alleged dad is part of the KKK. How often do you see Democrats or liberals or progressives or socialists bringing proof that his alleged father was? You don't. But you know what is really funny? There is actual alleged proof that Joe Biden was friends with them. He allegedly had dinner with them. He, hell, allegedly went to one of their funerals, to the Grand Wizard funeral of a KKK member. But the Democrats don't want to tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, the image of the thumbnail that you saw in here, yes, is very, very controversial. I know it is. Because, yes, it is a picture of the KKK. Because this is truth that is going to hurt a lot of Democrats. And this is truth that I'm not going to hide no more. I'm going to expose the Democrats and the party and be within by exposing them for what they all are. The Democrats, the socialists, the liberals, the progressives, they are all part of the KKK. They all work with the KKK, allegedly. They are all complicit with the KKK. They all comply with them, allegedly. Now, how do they comply with them? Because they all are doing the same thing that the KKK would do. Use racism. They all use racism. They try to pretend and ignore it as if, well, we're not racist. We're the left. We're tolerant. You know, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Again. We're for women's rights. Yeah. Again. No. We're for the LGBTQIA. Yeah. No. You lefties are not for anything. Because we know that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit. That might be a hard pill for a lot of you lefties to swallow over here, but you all gotta swallow it. Because we know that's a lie. We know that's a deep down-rooted lie. We know that all of you Democrats have rooted racism. And that's truth. That is the truth. Because again, what were the Dixiecrats? Democrats. They were Democrats. They were Southern Democrats. Now, I'm from the South. and I'm a conservative. And I've been a conservative my whole entire life. For 34 years, almost 35 years of my whole entire life. And I've learned about the difference between the Dixiecrats and what the conservatives and what the Civil War was really about. And the people always will argue that the Civil War was about slavery. No, it wasn't. You know what really happened? That Dixiecrats, or the Democrats, I'm going to call them Dixiecrats now because they act like Dixiecrats. But you know what these Yankee Dixiecrats pretend Democrats or Dixiecrats try to pretend it's not? About land rights, which it was. For the rich, it was about slavery. For the rich, the ones who were only able to have slaves, the aristocrats, the higher-ups, who were only able to have slaves because they were rich and had enough money to own slaves, not the middle class or the lower class, but the higher class were only allowed to own slaves. For the higher class, it was about slaves. But the majority of the rest of them, it was about land rights. The Democrats, the progressives, do not want to tell you that truth. They want to ignore it. Because they want to pretend that it was about racism, when it wasn't. They want to pretend that it was about the lynching of the black people and how the black people were treated 3/10 of a human race. Sure, some of it was about slavery. We can't ignore all of it. Yeah, there was some of it about slavery, like I said, but it wasn't all about slavery. But Democrats quickly forget about the history and the truth in history because they don't give you the big picture. They give you a small detail and context because they don't know how to do research. Going back to the Klan. When you listen to Joe Biden talking, and you've heard Joe Biden saying, if you don't know the difference between me and Donald Trump, you ain't black, where the hell do you think you probably could guess he probably got some of that shit from? Where do you think he probably allegedly got some of that from? Probably some of his friends that might have been alleged Klan members. More likely. Because remember, Joe allegedly was hanging around Klan leaders and Klan members. But they don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you that Joe was part of it. Or maybe not part of it, but he knew them. They want to call every single conservative or MAGA people Klan leaders, you're a Klan leader, this person's a Klan leader, that person's a Klan leader, Klan. But you know what's so funny about this? There's no evidence. There's a whole bunch of lack of evidence, but no evidence to point to actual evidence that they either are or are not. They can't prove that they are. They don't prove either they are or are not. They just say that they are. Because they think, again, just like the media, let us think for you. That's a cult. That's kind of what the Klan does. The Klan thinks, if that person's, somebody that's not of the same race as us, that person does not or should not be treated equally as us. That's how the Klan thinks. That's how the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, think. And that's what they do. They use the same method as the Klan, allegedly pointing towards everyone, using that same method every time, because that shows 100% what they are doing. And it's so easy to see they're using their racism to try to manipulate people into believing their bullshit when they are racist. And they are doing exactly the same thing that the alleged Klan did a long time ago in the 1900s, or way back when the Klans were out. Now you probably want to, well, conservative. Do the Klans allegedly still exist today? I'm sure they do. But they're not as predominant as what they used to be. They're still out there. But they have changed forms into being called alleged neo-Nazis. That are now allegedly known as neo-Nazis. But they still have the same routine, the same belief, the same thing. Except without the alleged white hoods. They're just using face masks now. They don't wear the white hoods. They've gotten rid of the white hoods. But that's kind of how they are. They still are the same. Why do you think they go around doing this shit they do? And acting the way they do? Because that's who they are. Why do you think they go out and predominantly say the things that they are going to say, and especially play with people's minds and words and twist words the way that they want to do, because they want people to think that they are generally not who they are, because again it comes down to, if they can twist words and bend things to make people believe in certain things in aspects that people would say, okay, this doesn't seem very harmful, people would believe it. It's manipulation. And people have been manipulated to believing that these people on the left are not really actually the KKK. That they actually are complicit with the alleged KKK. Or they are the KKK. The modern KKK. They're doing exactly the same thing that the KKK does. And it's very easy to see. This is how complicit they have become. Because they will comply with their government leaders. They will comply with tyranny, alleged tyranny. They will comply with the media. This is how far they will go. I want you all, in closing words here, I want you all to think about this. I'm not going to do no big intro. I'm going to leave this with the cold opening that I have here. Because I want this to be the shock value that this is. Because I want you all to understand that this is what we're fighting and up against right here, right now. That this right here, right now, that we are up against is the alleged modern day KKK. The left. Fascists. Alleged neo-Nazism. And this is what they call us, conservatives. But really, deep down, if you look at it, who's the most violent, alleged violent people? If you disagree with them, the left. Who's the one that gets triggered the most if you disagree with them? The left. Who's the one that says that black lives should matter more than all lives? The left. Who says that they care about women, but when a woman loses to a woman or to a man that's pretending to be a woman that really is not a woman in a woman's sport, but that man is a transgender and that man is biologically a man, who gets triggered when conservatives and Republicans start speaking out saying, that's not right? And then the left start attacking the woman, saying, well, you're not good enough. You weren't good enough. You should just sit down, shut up, and do better. Maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe you're a loser. Maybe next time. The left. The left, dude. Who's the one that allegedly uses women's rights, only allegedly to unalive unborn children? The left. Who are the ones that allegedly want to defund ICE, the police, and that want everything to be on their terms? The left. Why? Because the left are intolerant, insufferable, miserable people. Schadenfreude, ladies and gentlemen. Schadenfreude. This is the left. They love to watch other people be miserable. This is the modern day fascism. The left. This is the alleged modern day KKK that we are up against. The left. But this is truth. This is the damn hard truth that we gotta hear. It's scary as hell. But when it comes down to it, I'm not afraid to say the truth. Because when it needs to be said, I'm going to say it. The left need to be stopped. And it's about damn time they get put in their place. Because they are getting way too damn big for them britches. And they think that they are unstoppable and invisible. And they are not. And law enforcement's about had it with them. ICE is about damn had it with them. And we've about damn had it with them. So what are we going to do? I think it's about time that we probably have Trump send the Marines in. Send the devil dogs in. Let the devil dogs sort out Mao. That's just how we got to do it. Because the devil dogs will do their job. And when the devil dogs come in, watch them run and scurry like little mice. Like little cockroaches. They'll run. Because they don't want none. They don't want that smoke. They claim they wanted that smoke. Oh no, they don't now. Because not when the freaking Marines come in. Because when those Marines come in, they ain't going to want that smoke. Anyway, thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do. I love you guys. God bless you all. God bless our president. God bless ICE. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.